Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the West. More specifically, Salt Lake City, Utah. The other day, I hopped aboard a plane. I flew out here to Salt Lake City, and I'm embarking on a road trip. And the goal of this road trip is fairly simple. At this point, I have visited 44 of the continental United States, 45 now that I've landed in Utah. My goal is to get in my car and drive and finish out the 48 states, so I can say that I personally have visited 48 of the 50 United States. Now, Hawaii and Alaska, I'll be coming for you later. Right now, we're gonna focus on the 48, and hopefully within the next couple days, I will have accomplished that personal goal. But right now, I'm in Salt Lake City. This is actually a very beautiful, beautiful area. I didn't really know what to expect. There's mountains. See, there's some mountains right there. And there's also a giant lake made of salt right over here. We're at the shores of the Salt Lake right here. That building right there is known as the Great Saltaire, built as an entertainment venue and resource to people visiting the coast and the beach of the Great Salt Lake. Unfortunately, the Salt Lake itself apparently is very unpredictable. The lake constantly is changing shape. I guess that's something to do with the desert-like conditions here. So the lake moved, and now the Great Saltaire finds itself like half a mile from the lake, which is not an ideal spot for a beachside venue. So they actually still are in business, and they still do concerts here, but not exactly living up to its original intention, even though it is quite a beautiful building. And I say we get a closer look at not only the Great Saltaire, but of the Great Salt Lake itself. So apparently the lake is too salty to actually have any fish, but there is an alleged monster in the lake by the name of the North Shore Monster, very similar to the Loch Ness Monster, Champ from Lake Champlain. So yeah, I didn't see him today, but tell me if you saw anything unusual in that drone footage. Also, apparently in the late 1800s, a local businessman released 2 whales into the lake as a form of to create a tourist attraction. And they said that there were sightings for a while, that people would see the whales, but people don't know what happened to the whales. They most certainly died. That's not a suitable environment for whales. But anyways, we're gonna see what else interesting we can find here in the Salt Lake City area. Here we are at the Rainbow Neon Sign Company. Just a very, very cool sign rotating there. Wish it was night so we could see it lit up. Check this out. On top of that building we have a muffler man, but actually he is the famous Mr. Spock from Star Trek. Now here we've stopped off at KFC. Now when I travel through the state of Kentucky, I always like to stop a little town called Corbin, which I have visited and done videos before and called it the first KFC. But sometimes I get comments in the comment section, people say, that's not the first KFC. The first KFC is in Utah. And according to that giant bucket, they're right. It says right there on the bucket, world's first KFC. And I've never known a bucket to lie to me. So here's the lowdown. I personally believe that saying the first KFC is in Corbin, Kentucky, I believe that's correct. However, I also believe that saying the first KFC is in Salt Lake City, Utah, I believe that is also correct. Now the restaurant in Corbin, Kentucky was not originally called Kentucky Fried Chicken or KFC. It was called Harlan Sanders Cafe. However, in Utah was where the first franchise of KFC was built, and it was the first KFC to actually use the name Kentucky Fried Chicken. These statues here show Colonel Harlan Sanders, the famous colonel of KFC fame, along with the man who opened this franchise, Pete Harmon. You can actually see from the statues wearing his trademark tie, and old Pete Harmon is wearing the same patented Colonel Sanders tie as well. Now this building does not look like it was the original building. Imagine it was rebuilt at some time. I think they do have some artifacts or a small museum inside. Unfortunately, because of a certain pandemic, we are not able to enter the lobby and take a look at that. This sign here indicates that this was also known as the Harmon Cafe, after Pete Harmon. Interesting, the similarity in the name, Harlan Sanders and Pete Harmon. Makes you wonder if maybe they got along so well because their names sounded so similar. Also, I do think it's interesting that even though it's the Harmon Cafe, it has the visage of Harlan Sanders, the Colonel there. Colonel's face, it just sells chicken. We're stopping off here in Toffer Park. There's supposedly something miraculous to be seen. 1997. Allegedly, the vision of the Virgin Mary was seen in this tree, and a kind of a knot inside the tree. And the faithful have actually erected this structure here so people can ascend the staircase and view the Virgin Mary. All right, let's see if we can see her. Now, it's not popping out. It's not popping out, admittedly. I don't know if it is from people touching it or desecrating it, but I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing the Virgin Mary. Leave a comment below if you can see the Virgin Mary in this knot of this tree. Okay, looking up there, you can see there is an older picture of the knot, and it does appear that at one time it was a much clearer picture of the Virgin Mary, but it looks like it has decroded over time. So let's take a second look. Yeah, I think the image was right here. It looked like it was like more of a flat piece of wood with an image in it, but I don't know. Still very fascinating. Stopped off at Gilgal Garden. It's a religious-inspired sculpture garden here in Salt Lake City. So Gilgal Gardens, creation of Thomas Battersby Child, he was a Mormon bishop, died in 1968, and kind of made this private art garden just by himself in private, and it really went on ignored until after his death. And a lot of it people do not really understand. It is clearly based in the Mormon faith, but there's been a lot of different interpretations on what exactly he meant, because he didn't leave a lot of writings or information on what exactly he was going for here. But it is still an impressive sight to be seen to this day. This here is a sphinx with the face of Joseph Smith, very important figure in the Mormon church. See this sculpture here. It's a man holding a sword with a rock for a head. Here's the actual creator of Gilgal Gardens, Thomas Battersby. He's surrounded by, I guess, tools that were likely used in the construction of the garden. What I really like is that his pants are made of bricks. You can see the giant birdhouse up there. There's some very interesting carvings there. Looks like a grasshopper. There's a head right there. See these hands in this cave reaching down what looks to be a heart. It's interesting, you can see these giant body parts. There's a foot, another foot. See some appendages and the head up there. Driving along the road here, and then this caught the corner of my eye and I almost wrecked the car. What the? Yeah, this appears to be a private residence. There's this really strange statue of this couple here, binoculars, looking out onto the road. Again, no idea who lives here. There's another statue of a woman walking a little dog there. How curious. Alright, we stopped off here at the Salt Lake City Cemetery. We're looking for one grave in particular. That's this grave right here. And I will let you guys take a second to digest what you are looking at. It says Lily E. Gray, born June 6, 1881, died November 14th, 1958, victim of the beast 666. So yeah, the mysterious grave here of Lily Gray in Salt Lake City, the victim of the beast. And there's little stories and tales on what may have been the beast referring to. She lived a long life. She died of natural causes, and her husband put this on her grave, and no one is really sure what he meant. I think some people may have questioned his mental stability. I think he may have been into certain conspiracies, but yeah, Lily Gray, victim of the beast. And you gotta wonder what when the man that carved the gravestone, when he got the husband's request to put that on the gravestone, if he just took it in stride or what he must have thought. It's interesting there. This baby boy and baby girl, these two twins that did not have names. Their last name was Kidd. It says that the must have been twins born on the same day. The boy only lived for 1 day and the girl lived for 5 days. Did not get a name. At this gas station to use the restroom. I must say, this is the most baffling keychain I've ever seen. It is a Dasani bottle filled with caramel corn and crystal meth at the bottom. It looks like, I don't know. I guess, they put these things on here so you don't walk off. I'm definitely not taking this home. So thank you for joining me today as we explore Salt Lake City, Utah. The plans from here are we're gonna go into Idaho, cut through Montana, and finally down in to Wyoming and complete the 48 states here on the Carpetbagger channel. We're gonna do a few things here in Salt Lake City before then, so stay tuned for that. If you'd like to see other places I visited, please check the interactive map in the description of this video. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's several ways to do that. All that's in the description. We're now selling 2 different types of enamel pins in the Etsy shop. Of course, you also have Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month. Until next time, this one's in the bag.